We want to redirect financial flows. We can do this without burdening the taxpayer. So, for perspective, when we talk about helping the global south in my country, sometimes some people are like, we can't afford to do that. We're already in an affordability crisis here. We can barely put food on the table. How can we help other countries? Well, the good news is ordinary people don't have to pay for this. So let's look at how we can get money going in the right directions. So firstly, we need to focus in on the big cause. It's fossil fuels. And they've been lying to us for decades. I won't go into that, but we need to really get focused on the fossil fuels. And then we need to imagine a world where we don't burn fossil fuels for transportation, electricity, heating and cooling. And it's easier than you think. This is a Canadian slide. So governments must enact policies that will redirect financial flows away from fossil fuels and towards a sustainable and equitable world. So in my country, if a person purchases a fossil fuel or something that is highly dependent on fossil fuels, they pay a price. And all that money is given back to the people. And 80% of us come out ahead. So this allows for that carbon price to get up really high. So we need our governments to enact policies that make polluters pay, while at the same time give the money back to the people. And this is Canada's carbon pricing policy. We've got to get that price up high enough and giving the money back to the people will build the political will necessary to prevent protests as the price rises. Carbon price in Canada is $85 a ton. Other than those who are being fooled by liars on social media, we're not having major protests here in Canada. They're not major. We are having protests, but nothing to worry about. But also, so in addition to putting a price on pollution, here are some of the other things. Governments must also stop subsidizing our destruction with planet-killing subsidies. $1.7 trillion a year and all the subsidies that are destroying the planet. It's in agriculture, mining, fishing, etc., not just fossil fuels. That's direct subsidies. It's not the indirect subsidies like how it impacts our economies. And we have to enact policies that will regulate our banks and insurance companies so they align their financing with a livable world, and to pay for adaptation, loss and damage, and all the jobs that will be created and the infrastructure that will support the transformation, especially for those of us in the global north, because there's lots of money. There's just a lot of hoarding of money here. We need tax reform nationally and internationally.